In the beginning of this year, I started filming myself in my room. Now I actually get paid for it. Here's how. So, just to get started, this video is going to be about UGC. I started my UGC journey in January of this year, and it's been going better and better ever since. So I wanted to share my experience. So why did I get into UGC? Well, I remember being 9 or 10 years old watching YouTube and thinking, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be like Alicia Marie and My Life is Ava and Bethany Moda. And I was like, that'd be great. And I asked my mom, when can I start my own YouTube channel? And she was like, you're not old enough to actually have an account, so not yet. That was where it all started for me. And ever since then, I've been wanting to do this content creation thing. Wanting to like share a story, help other people, be relatable to other people, make people feel less alone, I don't know. But also the creative side. I love editing and piecing together fun videos. So basically that's why I started. Last year, I think, I started getting like more and more like UGC stuff on my TikTok. And I was like, I could never do that. But then I saw this girl who was promoting her course and I was like, all of that course stuff, am I getting scammed? Well, long story short, I bought this course back in January and it really, really helped me. After just a month of pitching to brands, I had landed my first collaboration, which was really, really cool. I will say, it's not easy. It is not a quick and easy side hustle. I believe that most people can do it. If you really want to, I'm sure that you can have success within it if you put your all into it, but it is not a quick and easy way to earn money. That is important to know because that is a very common misconception. So I'm gonna give you my step-by-step guide on how to become a UGC creator. And if you're interested in learning even more about it and maybe even interested in the course, leave a comment and I'll get back to you on that. Step 1, learn the basics of everything. If you're here, you probably are in that phase. This is where you do all the research you possibly can. That's looking on TikTok, looking at Instagram, really analyzing which ads pop up on your social media, recognizing, oh, this is UGC. Oh, that's a cool like testimonial. That's that sort of stuff. And look at what works and what you think doesn't work for you. If you see a UGC ad, be critical, think, why did they do that? That doesn't make sense. This makes sense. That's really good. Take notes on everything you can. Once you've done all that, I'm gonna quickly note down a few of the tools that I use, free tools that I use as a UGC creator. First of all, we have a little bit of a maybe controversial one right now, which is CapCut. I love editing in CapCut because it has so many features, like a bunch of sound effects and text effects, and just it's really user-friendly if you're not like a big editing nerd. I mean, I kind of am. So for like longer projects like YouTube, I usually use like DaVinci Resolve or something, which is also free. But for CapCut, it's just easy because I have it on my phone too, and it just has a lot of stuff. There has been this big thing about how they changed their user agreement something so that actually they can use your videos for free, which is obviously very bad. But I believe it's mainly in the US. Being in the EU, I've heard that it's supposed to be like a little different with like GDPR rules, but don't quote me on that, don't hang me up on it because I'm not sure. I'm just taking the risk, I'm using it anyways, but do what you want. Then the next one we have is ChatGPT. This one is, Chat is one of my best friends at the moment, and part of me thinks it's really bad because I should be thinking on my own, which I do, so don't come for me too much. I use it for a lot of inspiration and idea generating. Like if I have an idea on a specific topic, I'll like ask chat like, oh, I have this idea. What could make it perform better on Instagram versus TikTok and stuff like that. So for the creative side, don't use it because it should come from you, otherwise you won't succeed as much as you can. You won't fulfill your full potential or anything. Your creativity has to come from you, not AI. Next we have social media. Like I mentioned, do a bunch of research. This is great for new editing tips, filming hacks, products that could make your life easier as a creator, a bunch of stuff like that. So stay updated on social media. You don't have to scroll endlessly for hours per day, but just like stay updated on what's happening. Also with trends, because that can be used a lot in your job when pitching videos and stuff. So yeah. And my last free tool that I wanted to share was Canva. because Canva's great. I've been using it for years and years and years since school because I used to make like infographics and PowerPoint presentations and stuff on there. I love it. It's really great. You can pay for it and get even more great tools and things you get access to. I did that for a while. Now I'm not doing it, and it's kind of like, it's up to you. I say try out the free version first and see what you like. Maybe if you want some more, buy it if you have the money for it. Step 2, find brands to work with. This is probably the one thing that I was the most like confused about, I guess, before I started. I was like, how the heck do you find the brands to work with? And it's really easy. You just send them DMs on Instagram. But there are some rules on how you're allowed to contact brands. That's a little note. I'll get back to that. But so you're gonna find a brand and you're gonna send them a DM. And what you're not gonna say in the DM is, hey, oh my gosh, I love your brand. I'd love to work with you guys. I mean, that can work, but if you want the success rate to be higher, don't say that. Instead, you're gonna say why they should work with you. So you're gonna say why you can create the results that they can't get from anybody else. So you're gonna, in your pitch, you might say, hey, oh my gosh, I love your brand. This is awesome. I have some great ideas that could work really well for your brand because I specialize in blah, blah, blah. Something like that, you know? You really have to focus on your strengths and why they should work with you. Don't just say you love them. So where might you find those brands, you might ask? That's a good question. So one way is through Google. You can just Google the type of brand you want to work with. Let's say you want to work with a brand who makes journals. You're gonna Google journals, and then some of the most popular sites are gonna pop up first. So you're gonna see Amazon, you're gonna see a bunch of the big companies. You're gonna scroll past those. You're gonna go to like page 3 or 4 and see which smaller brands might also be selling journals. And then you're gonna choose one of those, find their Instagram, and send off a pitch. Another way you can find brands that already are using UGC, you're gonna just look at social media ads, the ones that pop up in your feed. You can contact them because you know they're already using UGC. You can also look at Meta Ad Library. You can just Google Meta Ad Library, and then you're gonna just look at brands that you might be interested in, maybe the ones you find on Google. Look at how many ads they're running on Meta Ad Library. If they're already running a few, you can like play off of that and you can like say in your pitch, hey, I stumbled upon one of your ads on Instagram and I love this idea, but I have an idea on how to make this work even better. And lastly, you can also just look in your community, go local. Find small little companies or like cafes or something in your area and ask them, because even small brands need marketing. Everyone has a budget for it. Step 3 is coming off of that. Start small. You're gonna start by making a portfolio. This is gonna be a portfolio of your own fake UGC examples. So you're just gonna find items from around your home. Let's say you wanna do a UGC ad on this notebook. Why is this notebook the best notebook ever? Make a fake UGC video on that. Take inspiration from everything you've researched on Instagram, on TikTok, ads, everything. And once you have like 5 of those that you're proud of and you're like, those could really work, make a portfolio. I made mine on Canva. You can check out mine, take inspiration from that. You can go on Canva, search up UGC portfolio templates, and there are going to be lots of ones to choose from that you can just use. And once you have that, you're ready to pitch to brands. One thing I always say to everybody who asks me is never say yes to gifted collabs. There is so much money in this industry, there is really no reason to work for free. Now, if your favorite brand reaches out to you for a gifted collab and you really want to take it, do it. Like, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying there is money in this, and brands will pay you even if you're new. And you don't have to take $50 for a video. You can actually take like $200 for a paid ad video. That's very normal. And maybe in the beginning you take a little bit less, however you want to start, but please don't work for free. At least not more than like a couple of videos. That is just my advice, because I have said no to so many gifted collabs because the product isn't really something where I think, oh, this would really make me happy. I've said yes to one collaboration which benefits me a lot and has a lot of value to me, and I didn't have to like work too much for it, if that makes sense. So like the outcome is way better for me, if that makes sense. So you kind of have to like pick and choose who you want to work with, and please be selective and don't just do free work. I like to compare it to like getting a new job. If you're new on the job, you still get paid for your first shift, even though you don't have experience, you know? So if they're already showing interest in you, they've seen maybe your portfolio that you've made your fake examples from, they have an idea of what you can do, so why not pay you? Literally, they should just pay you. Anyways, I could talk forever about this, but I won't, so I'll just continue on to step 4. Be consistent and be creative. If you are willing to post on your own socials, I know this isn't necessary to be a UGC creator, that's the whole point. You get to just make videos for other people. You don't have to post on your own socials. But I will say it does help, because building a personal brand attracts brands to you as well, other than you just having to reach out for them. It makes it a lot easier for brands to find you if you're posting on socials. So my recommendation is start a Instagram is my favorite. You can do TikTok, you can do YouTube. Don't think YouTube really works that well for this, but I would recommend either TikTok or Instagram. My favorite is Instagram because I feel like more brands are reaching out through Instagram, so that's just my recommendation, but do whatever you want and start posting on there. Create a new UGC specific Instagram profile if that is what you choose to do, and you're gonna put in your bio exactly what you do. When I started, my bio was something like, I help brands stand out with creative content that feels real, looks good, and connects fast. And you're gonna try and make something that isn't exactly the same as all other UGC creators, but it's a good idea to have that in your bio, at least if you have a smaller profile and stuff. But what you're gonna do is you're just gonna start posting on there. You're just gonna start posting a bunch of stuff. Posting for a while gives you a bunch of practice with filming, with editing, with finding out what people like on social media, what works well on Instagram, what works well on TikTok. You're gonna gain so much experience through that, which is going to help you in your future collaborations. And one of the most important things is that you're going to practice authenticity. It is difficult to just stand in front of a camera and film and feel authentic in the beginning. It'll get easier and easier for every single video you make, but it is really difficult in the beginning. You're just like, you're really awkward on camera at first. So first you're going to be like, hey guys, and it's going to be really awkward. But you're gonna get better. And that's also why it's just a really good idea to practice on social media, because you practice getting things out there, which is scary. Next, we're just gonna talk about a few different tips and tricks. First of all, lighting. Always have good lighting. Always be front facing, like have your window to you. So you're gonna have your window here facing this way. This would be ideal. Right now, I'm not doing that because I'm like, yeah, that just doesn't work with my setup right now. But that's how you're gonna film all of your videos, and that's really important. If you don't have big windows, that's okay, but make sure you're in some kind of natural light. That is the best thing. If that's not possible, use some other light, but have it facing you. Never have backlighting. That is bad. That's just not good. Next, you're just gonna use your phone. Unless you have like an iPhone 4 or something like that, you should be good. As long as you make sure to just wipe the lens, always use the back camera, and use good lighting, you should be good. The quality should be pretty good. Next, you're gonna make sure that you follow the rule of thirds. This is about framing your video. So let's say I'm using, okay, right now, imagine that you have these lines on your camera. Whether it's vertical or horizontal doesn't matter. You're gonna film most of the UGC stuff vertical, but I'm going to use the screen as an example. You're going to have 2 lines here and a line here and a line here. So you're going to use the rule of thirds, meaning, so you're going to put your eyes on this top line right here. Never be like way down here and have so much space above you. So you should be taking up about 2/3 of the screen. And then you're either going to place yourself directly in the middle or on one of the thirds, if that makes sense. So follow the rule of thirds. You can find so many videos on this on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, everywhere. So if you're still unsure how this works, make sure to just do your research on that, because that makes a big difference. And also you want to make sure that your camera is straight, so you don't want to be tilting down or tilting up, unless it's like a creative choice that you want to have your angle like facing down when you're doing your intro or hook or something. but for the most part, have straight. So this was my little guide on how to become a UGC creator. What you're gonna do now, if you're still willing to work for it, make a bunch of examples and just post them or keep them for yourself and analyze them and figure out, why is this good, why is this bad. Just make a bunch of videos so you can practice. That's a great start for anybody who wants to get into it. And if you want to learn more about it, make sure to leave a comment and I can definitely make like another video if there's anything specific you want to learn something about. And if you are in a space where you really want to take it seriously, I do recommend taking a course, especially the one I took. So if you're interested in that, leave a comment or DM me on Instagram or something and I can share that with you. But you don't need to spend money on the course, but I just found it really helpful for me, and that's kind of what got me started, and it was really nice having like a coach. I hope this kind of helps some of you get inspired and maybe get an idea of how this is actually possible. I didn't think it was possible for me before January, but then my now coach, she really helped me figure out that of course I could do it. If anybody else can, then why couldn't I? And that works. So that's just great. And I'm trying to do it full time. That's about it for the video. I won't keep on blabbing, but make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and I'll be posting a bunch more on there about my life and my UGC journey and stuff. I think that's about it. I'm gonna stop talking and I'll just say thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.